So these are a handful of questions that you can ask to kind of get the ideas flowing. So there's a couple of my favorites here. Feel free to take a picture of this slide. What are the broken record conversations that you have with every new patient or prospect? Like, what are the things every time during the onboarding process that you have to repeat over and over and over again? Or what are the things, I see people laughing, you know what I'm talking about, the misconceptions, the questions that you get asked every time, or people come into your office and they think one thing, but you got to tell them that it's actually not that. What are those things? Or maybe what are the objections? What keeps people from even doing business with you or coming into your office? And then another thing is what's the special sauce? What makes you or your business different? Okay, so we're going to get some ideas flowing here. And I'll give you some examples. So this is one of our students, Sean Sumner. He's a physical therapist. What do you think? I mean, what are people always talking about? Chronic neck pain and sciatica. So we wrote a book on those two topics. Another example, yoga. So this is Kat Wonders. She does yoga for healing chronic pain. And so she said, hey, I'm going to create a book called Yoga for You. This helped bring in an extra $30,000 the month that she launched the book for her business. Now, I realize this is maybe just a handful of you, but how many of you have a digital product? Anyone? Okay, a handful of you. So if you have a digital product, that is your book. You've already done the preparation, you've already created the PDFs, you've already created the videos, that's the book. So this was my book published, which we got a copy for all of you guys. It's at our self-publishing school booth back there, so be sure to swing by. You don't have to pay anything. We bought copies for everyone. So you guys will have a copy of that. But this is a 10,000-foot view off of one of my first trainings. So you can take the hard work that you've already done and the structure that you've already done and turn it into a book. Or the flip side is if you do the hard work to create the actual book, then it's relatively easy to turn that into a digital product because you've already kind of crystallized your ideas. And then one last example. I never thought that we would have students writing about this, but this is one of our students. She's a veterinarian. She helps people with pet loss grief. She has a whole series on this. My dog's dying. What do I do? My cat's dying. What do I do? This whole series, and this has really helped her grow her business. So I always kind of include this. Just say, hey, there's no such thing as a crazy idea. I never thought that this would be something that people would write about, but it's doing really well. All right, now, raise your hand again. Who are the people who said they had too many ideas? Okay, this is going to be for you. So we've got really only two rules at Self-Publishing School when we're working with people. Number one is that you can't edit while you write. We all know someone who has 5 perfectly written chapters in their unfinished book, right? So you can't edit while you write. And then the second one is you can't write more than one book at a time. You know the Chinese proverb, try to chase 2 rabbits, you'll catch neither, right? So you got to focus on one idea first. So we got 3 questions to help narrow in on which one to write first. The first question, which one is my fastest way to the finish line? So which one do I have maybe the most content or the most life experience around this topic, and I could take it all the way to the rough draft being finished? This is the most important milestone as an author, is getting the rough draft finished. Because once you have the rough draft finished, you kind of start to see that light at the end of the tunnel and believe that this is possible. Question number 2, which one am I most likely to finish? So not only am I going to start it, but I'm going to take it to the finish line. And then question number 3, which one's going to make me happy? I'll give you an example. So my mom is actually a self-publishing school student right now. We didn't make her pay, obviously. She's going through the process, and she's writing her book. She's been telling me for years she wants to write a book, and so she has 2 book ideas. Book idea number 1, my mom's a realtor. So she said, hey, I could write a book about real estate, and that would help me sell more houses. And then book idea number 2, my mom is what some people would call a mistake baby, right? Her parents weren't intentionally trying to have her. Now, what that kind of manufactured for her growing up was she felt like she was born into an environment where people didn't want her there, right? And this whole feeling of not being wanted. So she wants to write this book for people who feel like they're in situations where they're not wanted there, right? And how do you survive that? How do you thrive and rise above that to help other people? So 2 very different book ideas. Now, people often get it wrong which one that I actually recommended that she write first. Which one do you guys think it is? The real estate book. Why? Well, let's look at these questions. Which one can I finish the fastest? My mom could write the real estate book in her sleep, right? Blindfolded, easy. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes the book that you can write the fastest might not be the thing that you're most excited about right now, because it's probably the thing that you've had the conversation with 100 people, and you're just so tired of talking about it. But that's the good thing about a book, is you're so tired of talking about it, you write the book, and then every time people ask that question in the future, you just say, here you go. You just keep pointing to this. I am not talking about that anymore. Here it is, right?